Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50, we are following two breaking stories. A shooting investigation is underway in Cumberland County, and Granville County deputies search for a suspected shooter. What we know from investigators.
And two things we're talking about this morning, some more lovely fall conditions in terms of our temperatures, but a little bit more cloud cover today. And eventually by tomorrow, those clouds could bring us some showers and storms. We'll take a look.
And you will soon know how your child's school compares to others in the state. The update expected this morning about standardized test scores. Yeah, that story and others that we have been following very closely here on WRAL News and Fox 50. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm Chris Lovington.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Oh, another beautiful day.
Yeah.
Like yesterday
Fall-like
we were cool.
day.
Today we're cool. It's a fall-like day. We'll take it, Elizabeth. We want this weather to stick around.
We do. Hey, and the farther we get into September, the more likely it is to stick around. Now we can have, really hot conditions easily into early October, but we look ahead and, for the rest of this week and much of next week, temperatures look like they're going to stay down. So that is definitely good news. A live look at Raleigh shows partly cloudy skies right now, but we are seeing some overcast skies in a few places across the viewing area. Right now it is 63 in the Triangle with a dew point of 55, so feeling very comfortable. A little breezy like it was yesterday. We're going to see winds this afternoon anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour out of the northeast. And our temperatures will start to climb, but we're still looking at mid to upper 50s in the north and low to mid 60s elsewhere as you step out the door. Just like yesterday, high temperatures will be in the upper 70s. And even though you may see cloudy skies from time to time, no rains in the forecast for today, but it is for tomorrow. I'll show you when to expect it. Coming up, Ken.
All right, at 8:01, Elizabeth, we're seeing some delays building on I-40 westbound around Davis Drive, Page Road. Really, a couple of incidents. This crash on Davis Drive on I-40 westbound in the clearing phase. This crash on Page Road exit on I-40 westbound just happened. We're not seeing any delays in that immediate spot, but look at the delays that it's lingering to on I-40 westbound all the way back to Airport Boulevard this morning. It's what we're seeing as we've been monitoring this. This is what it looks like. This camera at I-40 and Davis Drive. You can see this crash involving that one vehicle there. It's in the clearing phase, but we're going to keep monitoring that crash on the Page Road exit to see if that's going to continue to slow down traffic. Right now, we're looking at a 13-minute delay coming in on those westbound lanes of I-40 this morning, and just a 6-minute delay coming in on 98 from the Highway 50 this morning. So just keep that in mind if you're about to head out this morning. Really quickly, got to show you another issue that we've been monitoring this morning over in the eastern part of the county. This crash on 87 southbound lanes on I-540. We're seeing a lingering delay right now. We're going to keep monitoring that, but really your alternate route will be Pool Road or maybe Highway 64 to get around what's happening on 87 South.
Breaking news this morning in Granville County. A search is underway for this man here. He is accused of shooting two people. WRAL's Laura Levine explains people who live in that area where that happened, they're being warned to stay alert.
A community on high alert. The Granville County Sheriff warning the community that the man wanted for this double shooting should be considered armed and dangerous. Let's take a closer look at this photo. This is Andre Stephon Jones, who has been identified as the suspect, last seen wearing a gray hoodie. Broadcastify radio traffic indicates EMS and deputies first responded to this home on Wynwood Circle last night. A caller advised that her child's father came and shot her multiple times in the upper side and leg. Then EMS responded to a nearby corner store called Danny's Store, where they found another victim with gunshot wounds. Take a listen to radio traffic describing his injuries.
One lifelike to Granville Medical, please. 42-year-old male, 3 gunshot wounds, one to the side, one to the groin, one to the leg.
And witnesses stated Jones fled the scene, cutting through backyards. Today, we are working to learn the condition of the victims who were shot. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Granville County. And we're working to learn more about a shooting overnight near Fayetteville. Nick Perlin was in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker as deputies investigated at a house for more than 5 hours.
Cumberland County deputies were at a neighborhood for roughly 5 hours investigating a shooting that happened late last night. I'll take a look at this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker, and you can see this large area on Sanders Soda Road blocked off as Cumberland County deputies try to learn more about this shooting. There's also a home a little bit further down here that I want you to take a look at. And throughout the morning, I saw deputies taking pictures and shining flashlights onto that home. It seems as though that's where the shooting occurred. Now, we're still trying to find out if anybody was hurt in this shooting, and we're also trying to find out if deputies know who fired that gun late last night. Of course, we're still trying to get more information. That's why I'm here at the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office to get more information. As I learn more, I'll be sure to update you. In Cumberland County, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
2 people are in the hospital this morning because of a serious crash in Moore County. First responders say a truck veered off the road and hit a tree in Southern Pines. That was around 2 a.m. You can see how badly the truck was damaged in this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. The truck's driver and a passenger were both flown to a trauma center, but no word on what led up to the crash or how the people taken to the hospital are doing.
Today, we expect to get new information about how well your child's school is performing. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey tells us that data being released today about standardized test scores.
School districts statewide have been working to rebound their scores since COVID. This morning, leaders here at the State Education Building will get an update on how students are doing. I want everyone to draw their attention to this. So these are numbers from Wake County. Reading proficiency for 3rd through 8th graders went up nearly 2% in 2022, but it's still about 7% lower than what we saw before the pandemic. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst says Wake students' math scores are back up to pre-pandemic levels. North Carolina school districts have implemented strategies to help improve scores, like intensive tutoring for reading and intervention teachers for math.
They're really doing a lot of focus on reading, especially for the youngest grade levels. Statewide, they have changed reading instruction to include more phonics than it did before. They've done some other things to have it be taught in a way that is more backed by science and the latest research.
Once those numbers are released around 10 o'clock this morning, you can go to our website, WRAL.com, to look up the results from your child's school. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are preparing for next week's debate. Today, Harris will be at a rally in New Hampshire, and Trump will be in Pennsylvania today for a rally in Harrisburg. He then plans to virtually headline a summit in Las Vegas, and then later this week, he'll be in Charlotte. You can watch the debate between Trump and Harris next Tuesday night at 9 o'clock on WRAL.
Covering Wake County, families who live in the southern part of the county may be sending their kids to different schools next year. This map here shows 4 new schools opening in southern Wake County next year, 3 elementary schools and 1 high school. The school board unveiled the first draft of next year's enrollment plan at its meeting yesterday. It involves shuffling students from 22 elementary schools, 12 middle schools, and 6 high schools. They say it addresses overcrowding and shortens some bus routes. Parents whose kids would be moved admit the unknown. It's a challenge.
So we were planning for Apex Friendship, which is near to home, right? And a lot of community friends, everyone going to that school. But now everything's changed, so everything planned have to realign to the new school.
And Wake County Public Schools will hold a number of feedback sessions on the new plan before voting on it in November. And you can visit WRAL.com to find out when and where they will be.
This morning, we'll learn more about the conditions of roads and bridges in our state. A new report about congestion, safety, and transportation funding is set to be released at 10 o'clock this morning. That report is coming from a national transportation research nonprofit called TRIP. It'll break down the data by region.
Just ahead, we're hearing from the police officer who helped save the life of NFL player Ricky Pearsall. We'll bring the emotional exchange she had with him when he thought he would die from a gunshot.
Plus, 417,000 kids are considered chronically absent in North Carolina schools. Academic experts are weighing in on the effects of missing school on your children.
Nice temperatures in our 7-day forecast. Today's high 79. We will see some cloud cover on and off today. And then tomorrow we start a wetter pattern that will continue into parts of the weekend. I'll show you what to expect.
Welcome back. I love this shot. This is so beautiful. This almost looks like a painting. It looks fake. You're looking live over downtown Raleigh. You're watching WRAL News, available on YouTube TV and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. Not only does it look pretty, it feels pretty out there, Elizabeth.
It does. It feels very similar to our temperatures yesterday. We're starting off in the upper 50s, low to mid 60s, and we do have a bit more cloud cover than we did yesterday, but I agree. That shot there where the sun is peeking through the clouds over downtown Raleigh looks beautiful. This is just a few miles away at North Hills, looking a little grayer, and it's going to vary depending on which part of the viewing area you're in. Here's the reason we're seeing the change today. A couple of systems. One's the high pressure system up near New York, rotating clockwise. That's grabbing some air off the Atlantic and pushing it into North Carolina. So it's cool, but it's also got a bit of moisture with it. So that's helping to produce the clouds. And then a couple of lows sitting offshore, also rotating some moisture in off the Atlantic. So that's why we're seeing a little cloud cover for today. Notice the showers that are developing from St. Louis toward Dallas. We're going to see a cold front here sliding eastward and increasing our chance for rain, especially by Saturday. That's when this front will move into our area. Some showers and storms are possible on Saturday. Once the front moves through, it'll be a bit breezy. And then behind it, see the blue shaded area? This is some cooler air that'll come swinging in behind the front, and we'll feel that on Sunday. In the meantime, we do have some clouds with us, of course, today, and more of that tomorrow. This is a look at tomorrow. By lunchtime, we could see a few isolated showers, and then into the afternoon and evening, an isolated thunderstorm or so. I look at a lot of computer models when we're putting together our forecast, and this was one of the wetter ones. Some of them are a good bit drier, so we may be tweaking this forecast a little bit. I like to show you the worst case scenario, just so you can plan for it. But tune into Kat and Mike this evening, and then check in with me again in the morning, and we'll be talking more about that potential for rain. For Saturday, we have two different scenarios that could play out, and the models have been flip-flopping a little bit. One of those is where we have two low pressure systems close together, and we'll have a better chance for rain. And then if we end up with this scenario where the lows are a little farther apart, we won't see as much rain. So that's something that we're watching closely as we get on and on toward the weekend. Here's a look at our potential for rain. Thursday, right now, we have it at 40%, just a 20% chance on Friday, but a 40% chance on Saturday. And again, that's something that we may be adjusting. But for right now, if you have outdoor plans over the weekend, it could be a little iffy. We've got the yellow signal on here. Some showers and storms are possible, but it's good to go green on Sunday. It's going to be beautiful. Lots of sunshine, low humidity, feeling cool and comfortable. Tropical outlook. We have a 30% chance of development near the Yucatan Peninsula and off the coast of Africa, just a 10% chance, that one in the middle. It looks like those chances are going down as well. Once we get past the weekend, we're looking at beautiful conditions into early next week. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to talk, though, more about what happens with our muggy meter starting tomorrow. Ken?
All right, at 8:15, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. A couple of issues that we were having on I-40 in those westbound lanes. There was a crash on Davis Drive. Then there was another crash on Page Road. Those crashes have cleared. Let's take you outside and show you what those westbound lanes of I-40 are looking like right now. You can see the crash on Davis Drive off to the shoulder of the road there. The Highway Patrol trying to clear that scene, but traffic is moving along at a slow, steady clip, so that's good news this morning. The other troubled spot we've been monitoring this morning is in the eastern part of our community. This is the I-87 southbound lanes coming in from Knightdale this morning. You can see, and Wendell for that matter, because Wendell Falls Parkway, that backup stretches all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway. Depending on where you are, you should take 64 or even Pool Road as an alternate route, because this is what it looks like on I-87 and Smithfield Road. Those southbound lanes are moving away from us this morning, and you can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic it's causing this morning. You're looking at a 13-minute delay coming in from Knightdale as well. Another 13-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning into the capital city, but give yourself some extra time, and we'll keep monitoring it here for you in the WRAL Traffic Center.
Ken, thank you. 2 police officers in Phoenix, Arizona are in the hospital because of a shooting last night. Investigators say they were shot while trying to stop a person from breaking into a car. At least one person was arrested. Police also say the officers responded to a report of someone breaking into a car near downtown, and when they arrived, that's when the suspect ran, jumped a fence, and then they were shot at after they were trying to chase that person. One officer is in critical condition, and the other is expected to live.
Outrage and mourning in the Middle East after the murder of 6 Hamas hostages. Alex Abinov, a father of 2, was among the hostages killed. A source tells NBC News his widow refused to meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu during a condolence visit. The Israeli leader has not met the family of American hostage Hirsch Goldberg Poland, who was buried Monday in Jerusalem.
New this morning, Ukraine's foreign minister is stepping down. That's happening ahead of a major reshuffling of President Volodymyr Zelensky's cabinet. Dmytro Kuleba gave his resignation notice today. He has been Ukraine's top diplomat since Russia's invasion. The majority leader of Ukraine's parliament says he expects major changes in the cabinet throughout this week.
For the first time, we're hearing from the police officer who helped save the life of an NFL player after he was shot. San Francisco police officer Joelle Harrell says that she rushed toward the sound of gunfire in the city's Union Square Saturday afternoon. She found 49ers rookie wide receiver Ricky Pearsall suffering from a gunshot wound to his chest.
I see him look down, and he looks at me. He goes, "Am I gonna die?" And I just like, no. I take off my hat because I wanted to make eye contact with him. I wanted him to hear me. And I said to him, "Listen, look at me. I know you don't know me, but I want you to trust me. It's not your time."
Police say Pearsall was the victim of an attempted robbery. The 49ers say he is already back on his feet and on the road to recovery.
Time is 8:18 this morning. Academic experts are focusing on the effects of children being chronically absent from school. Kevin Cork takes a closer look at the data.
With a new school year underway, education experts are sounding the alarm over the negative impacts facing students who are chronically absent from the classroom.
Chronic absenteeism to me is defined as too many absences to effectively get what you should be getting from school.
According to Tom Brady, chair of the Department of Teacher Education at the University of Mississippi, even if a student only misses one day of school every other week, that can add up to 20 missed days of school each year.
In elementary school, that means they'd miss about 30 hours of math, about 60 hours of English, and over the course of their schooling, they would miss about a year of schooling.
But schools are places where kids can learn more than just content from a textbook. Besides suffering academic gaps, chronically absent students can also lose out on developing critical life skills.
So you have opportunities to learn how to problem solve, how to work together, social skills, responsibility.
Data from Robert Wood Johnson Foundation finds chronic absenteeism is higher among kids from low-income households and children of color. Officials cite hunger, unstable housing and transportation, and bullying as factors that keep kids out of class.
That was Kevin Cork reporting. Last month, we shared data with you that showed 1 in 4 North Carolina students was chronically absent during the 2022-23 school year. That is 417,000 kids. It's the 18th highest rate in the nation.
Today, a Fayetteville road will close for good in order to make way for a new highway. Strickland Bridge Road is closing between Century Circle and Stony Point Road. It's being removed to make way for construction of Fayetteville's outer loop, I-295. A new alignment of the road will be built that creates a new exchange with the highway behind New Century International Middle School. This is part of I-295 and is expected to open in summer of 2026.
The $300 million project to enhance PNC Arena includes upgrading every level and the outside of the building. Some renovations being considered are adding more bathrooms, local food and drink options, nursing rooms, and sensory rooms. The goal is to start construction when the upcoming hockey season ends. The work is expected to continue through 2027. The arena will be kept open for most of the construction, but there may be extended closures in 2026, even 2027.
If you need help with your phone, computer, or other digital device, you can get some assistance this weekend. This Saturday, the city of Raleigh is hosting an Advice About Your Device session. It'll be held from 1 to 3 p.m. at the city's Business and Technology Center on South Wilmington Street. It is free and open to the public. And a record-setting performance at the Paralympic Games in Paris. Team USA's Ezra Freck won the gold in the high jump in Tuesday's competition with a jump of 1.94 meters. That is a little over 6 feet 4 inches. That's a new Paralympic record, but he was unable to improve on his own world record, which he set earlier this year in the qualifying trials. Freck has now won 2 golds at the Paralympics. He won the men's 100 meters on Monday with a time of 12.06 seconds.
Oh no, he couldn't beat his old record. Nah, he's fine. He's got gold. The upcoming NFL season is expected to be a record setter for sports betting. The American Gaming Association predicts $35 billion will be wagered on games this season. That would be a record and growth of more than 30% over last season's near $27 billion wagered. Sports betting is now legal in 38 states, including North Carolina. The NFL season kicks off tomorrow night with the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Baltimore Ravens. And yes, you can watch the game over on WRAL. Coverage starts tomorrow night at 7 o'clock and kickoff is at 8:20. Coming up, your morning commute may look a bit different this week. Ken Smith is keeping an eye on the trouble spots you might encounter as some ramps will close along the Beltline.
Plus, deputies are searching for a suspected shooter in Granville County. And this morning, we have a new look at someone who is wanted in connection to this case as people in the area open up about last night's shooting.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Another cool start for your Wednesday morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shows us what it feels like around town.
It's nice out there. I mean, there's some cloud cover, but it feels great. 63 in Durham and in Raleigh, 65 in Fayetteville. There are going to be some holes in the clouds on and off today, but it will certainly feel a bit more cloudy than yesterday. Even with the clouds out there, I'm not expecting any rain for today, but we could see some as early as lunchtime tomorrow. Feeling comfortable this morning. Temperatures ranging from the mid 50s to low to mid 60s, depending on where you are. And our highs this afternoon will be in the upper 70s. If you're planning to be walking the dog this evening, it's going to feel great with temperatures in the mid 70s.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Traffic has definitely picked up on major roads here in Wake County. You can see the south side of the Beltline as well as the northern side of the Beltline. You're looking at a 5-minute delay in terms of that northern side. We're talking Capitol Boulevard, Wake Forest Road, Six Forks Road, and the like. Another trouble spot for us is those southbound lanes of 87. There's a crash on I-87 and New Hope Road, causing quite a bit of delay. You're looking at a 13-minute delay this morning. Also in Durham, I-885, we're seeing congestion building in both directions this morning.
Thanks, Ken. Deputies were at a house in Cumberland County overnight after a shooting. It happened around 11:30 on Santa Rosa Road east of Fayetteville. We are working to learn who was shot and how badly they were hurt. And today we'll learn whether standardized test results are getting closer to where they were pre-pandemic. The State Department of Public Instruction will release its 2023-24 test scores at 10 o'clock this morning. The state school board will break down the data during its meeting later today. Next on Fox 50, how ramp closures along I-440 could affect your morning commute. And coming up next on Today, Kevin Hart in Studio 1A to talk about his new show, Fight Night.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50, the search is on for the man suspected of shooting 2 people in Granville County. What Broadcastify radio traffic reveals about that shooting?
And another shooting investigation underway, this time in Cumberland County. We are taking you to the scene as investigators try to figure out what all happened here.
And some cloud cover to begin with this morning, but no rain today. I'll show you when the showers begin a little later this week.
And students' test scores from across the state are expected to be released this morning. What they'll reveal about schools' bounce back from the pandemic. Welcome in on your beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lovingood. Beautiful fall-like day.
Amazing.
And I think, so when is the actual official day that autumn's supposed to start, Elizabeth?
21st or 22nd. So we got about 3 more weeks officially. But, you know, we start fall meteorologically on September 1st because as we get into the month of September, we tend to see some fall-like changes happening in our weather patterns. And we're definitely seeing that this September, that's for sure. Today, feeling like fall, cooler air continues for the next few days. But then by tomorrow, we're looking at a wetter pattern that begins, and that may continue through Saturday. Not going to be a washout, not going to be the real heavy rain like we saw last weekend. But I'll show you what we're expecting. Some cloud cover this morning here in Apex. 63 degrees is our temperature in the Triangle. Our dew point remains in the mid 50s, which is very comfortable. You know, yesterday it was a little breezy. We'll see that again today. Our wind is coming out of the northeast, and it'll be at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Right now, it's 55 in Roxborough, but elsewhere, temperatures are in the low to mid 60s. Temperatures won't warm up maybe as quickly as they did yesterday because we're seeing more cloud cover. But this afternoon, highs climb into the upper 70s. And even though we'll see cloud cover, again, not expecting any rain today, but in just a few minutes, minutes, we'll talk about when rain does arrive. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. I want to take you out to I-40 and Davis Drive, I-40 westbound and Davis Drive this morning, so you can see exactly what's going on, because there was a crash there a little while ago. It's in the clearing phase, but you can see right now the tow truck just showed up trying to haul away that car. One lane is closed, so it's adding to your drive time in terms of delays this morning there at I-40, but that should be clearing up rather quickly, and you should be moving on at a steady clip, but give it some time. A couple of incidents on the eastern side of our community. Of course, you see the belt line there. That's the usual congestion that we see during the morning hours. There's a crash on Pool Road in the eastbound lane at I-440 westbound, not causing any problems in that area. This is I-87 in the northbound lane near New Hope Road, not causing any problems in the northbound lane, but the real trouble spot for those coming in from Knightdale, Wendell area, it's those southbound lanes on I-87, starting all the way back from Wendell Falls Parkway and coming through this way. And there's a crash right now near New Hope Road that's causing a bit of congestion this morning. We're going to keep an eye on that to make sure that doesn't continue to affect you. But depending on where you are, you might take 64 as an alternate route or Pool Road to get around the congestion that we're seeing building right now in those southbound lanes of 87.
All right, thank you, Ken. Breaking news this morning in Granville County. A search is underway for this man here accused of shooting two people. WRAL's Laura Levine explains people who live in that area where this happened are being warned to stay alert.
A community on high alert. The Granville County Sheriff warning the community that the man wanted for this double shooting should be considered armed and dangerous. Let's take a closer look at this photo. This is Andre Stephon Jones, who has been identified as the suspect, last seen wearing a gray hoodie. Broadcastify radio traffic indicates EMS and deputies first responded to this home on Wynwood Circle last night. A caller advised that her child's father came and shot her multiple times in the upper side and leg. Then EMS responded to a nearby corner store called Danny's Store, where they found another victim with gunshot wounds. Take a listen to radio traffic describing his injuries.
One lifelike to Granville Medical, please. 42-year-old male, 3 gunshot wounds, one to the side, one to the groin, one to the leg.
And witnesses stated Jones fled the scene, cutting through backyards. Today, we are working to learn the condition of the victims who were shot. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Granville County.
And WRAL is working to learn more about a shooting overnight near Fayetteville. Nick Perlin was in the WRAL breaking news tracker as deputies investigated at a house for more than 5 hours.
Cumberland County deputies were at a neighborhood for roughly 5 hours investigating a shooting that happened late last night. I'll take a look at this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker, and you can see this large area on Sanders Soda Road blocked off as Cumberland County deputies try to learn more about this shooting. There's also a home a little bit further down here that I want you to take a look at. And throughout the morning, I saw deputies taking pictures and shining flashlights onto that home. It seems as though that's where the shooting occurred. Now, we're still trying to find out if anybody was hurt in this shooting, and we're also trying to find out if deputies know who fired that gun late last night. Of course, we're still trying to get more information. That's why I'm here at the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office to get more information. As I learn more, I'll be sure to update you. In Cumberland County, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
And Jeff Hogan in the WRAL Live Center. I want to bring your attention to some flooding that's happening in Fayetteville right now. This is video fresh in from the WRAL breaking news tracker here. It shows the area right there. The street is closed in both directions. They're right underneath the train tracks. If you're familiar with that area, it's near Drake Street. This is also US 401, if that's part of your commute today. It's the third day of flooding in that area. We've showed you some of this video before, but this closure is expected to last until noon. I want to show you on the map right here where this is, because Ramsey Street, it's north of Bragg Boulevard there, just before you get to the Business 401 intersection there of Ramsey Street. It is just underneath the railroad tracks there specifically, and the closure expected to last until noon. You can get complete details on WRAL.com.
Thanks, Jeff. 2 people are in the hospital after a serious crash this morning in Moore County. First responders say a truck went off the road and hit a tree in Southern Pines around 2 a.m. You can see how badly that truck was damaged in this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. The truck's driver and passenger were both flown to a trauma center. No word on what led to that crash.
Today, we expect to get new information about how well your child's school is performing. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey tells us the data being released today is about standardized test scores.
School districts statewide have been working to rebound their scores since COVID. This morning, leaders here at the State Education Building will get an update on how students are doing. I want everyone to draw their attention to this. So these are numbers from Wake County. Reading proficiency for 3rd through 8th graders went up nearly 2% in 2022, but it's still about 7% lower than what we saw before the pandemic. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst says Wake students' math scores are back up to pre-pandemic levels. North Carolina school districts have implemented strategies to help improve scores, like intensive tutoring for reading and intervention teachers for math.
They're really doing a lot of focus on reading, especially for the youngest grade levels. Statewide, they have changed reading instruction to include more phonics than it did before. They've done some other things to have it be taught in a way that is more backed by science and the latest research.
Once those numbers are released around 10 o'clock this morning, you can go to our website, WRAL.com, to look up the results from your child's school. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
The Department of Justice has charged 6 senior leaders of Hamas with terrorism and other crimes in connection with the October 7th attacks on Israel. Attorney General Merrick Garland made that announcement yesterday. This marks the first steps by the Justice Department to hold Hamas officials accountable for their crimes against Israeli civilians. U.S. prosecutors said at least 43 American citizens were among those murdered in the attack, and at least 10 American citizens were taken hostage or remain unaccounted for.
And Michelle, thousands of people rallied outside of Israel's Defense Ministry building last night. That marked the 3rd night of mass protests in the Middle East. Protesters are demanding Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu make a deal to bring the remaining Hamas hostages home. Last night, Egypt accused him of obstructing a ceasefire deal, and the U.S. is saying that it is against the presence of Israeli troops in Gaza long term. Back here stateside, more changes on I-440 in Raleigh will likely affect your commute. Right now, the eastbound ramps at I-440 and Hillsborough Street, they are closed, and they are expected to stay closed until next Thursday. Then tonight at 9 o'clock, the eastbound ramp to Wade Avenue and the westbound ramp to Hillsborough Street will close for overnight work. This is all a part of that ongoing project to widen the Beltline. While the Hillsborough Street ramp is closed, you will be detoured to Wade Avenue.
A rule barring high school athletes in the state from benefiting from name, image, and likeness agreements may soon be reversed. The issue was thrust back in the spotlight after the top high school quarterback, Faison Brandon, sued the state. The board will listen to a proposal to legalize NIL deals for high school athletes, and the state school board will discuss the rule today before voting on a possible change tomorrow.
5 DMV driver license offices are expanding weekday office hours. That's to help reduce wait times. If you look at your screen right here, you will see these 5 offices will now open at 7 a.m. Each driver license office will accept appointments Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to noon. Walk-in customers are welcome from noon to 5 p.m.
Coming up, lunch at a state park in California takes a scary turn when a boy is attacked by a mountain lion. How his family came to the rescue to scare that animal away.
And new developments in the murder case of London and Blake Devon. What a new recording obtained by WRAL Investigates reveals.
And we'll take you live out to Pinehurst this morning. It is feeling more like fall out there after a hot streak last week. Just ahead, meteorologist Chris Michaels explains why swings in temperature are more common this time of year.
Waking up this morning looking at a live image of Southern Pines. Someone's watching this going, I should hit the links. Well, you have some buddies out there clearly doing that this morning as you're watching WRAL News. We've got meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner getting you started on your weather forecast. A little cool out there as they're hitting the links, but it's going to warm up.
It will. We're going to warm into the upper 70s this afternoon. It'll feel very much like yesterday. The thing that looks different is the cloud cover. We take a live look at Franklinton, and you can see mostly cloudy skies here. And we're seeing variably cloudy skies across the area. Even though you may see some clouds where you are, especially this afternoon, we're not likely to see any rain today. But tomorrow, we do change that weather pattern. I'll show you what our chances are for tomorrow coming up. It is 63 in the Triangle with a dew point of of 55. Some of the cloud cover that we've seen this morning has helped to keep our temperatures warming up only very slowly. You remember yesterday, it was so pretty out and clear skies. I love this photo from Jeff Grantham from Wayne County there on the farm. That sunset looking absolutely gorgeous. We love your Weather Watcher photos. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and send us a few. We would love to show them on TV. So with all the clouds out there, is it going to be a good day to eat your lunch outside? Definitely. We're not expecting any rain today, so 75 degrees. It may be a little cloudy on and off, but still comfortable. Get outside and enjoy it if you have that opportunity. Around town this afternoon, 79 in Raleigh, 78 in Durham, and 81 degrees in Fayetteville. That is below normal. Our normal high is 86 degrees. Let's take a look at tomorrow. We're going to kick things off with some cloud cover in the morning. By lunchtime, just a few stray showers, and then maybe some redevelopment of some scattered storms late in the evening up until, say, 5 o'clock or so. After that, we may continue to see a few showers into the evening. I look at a lot of different computer models putting together the forecast, and this was one of the wettest. Some of them are much drier, so keep checking back with Kat and Mike this evening, and then me again in the morning. We'll see if we're going to be adjusting that forecast. I kind of like to show the worst case scenario so you can plan for rain, and then if we don't see it, it's a bonus, right? Looking at more muggy conditions starting tomorrow through Saturday, and then we see that muggy meter dropping nicely on Sunday. It feels nice out there. 86 degrees right now. Our temperatures are below normal, but we've definitely had some hot temperatures this summer, and other parts of the country are dealing with some extreme heat. Meteorologist Chris Michaels coming up in just a little while to talk about how much change we start to see during the fall and how that impacts us here and some of the fall leaves. How about this? Boy, talk about a record. 100 days at 100 degrees in Phoenix. The old record was 76 days, set back in 1993. They're still dealing with intense heat out west, heat warnings and heat advisories in effect all up and down the west coast, thanks to this high pressure system with this giant heat dome. Now, oftentimes, if it's hot in the west, it's cooler in the east, and that's exactly what we're seeing. This low pressure system swings on through this weekend and delivers another shot of cool, dry air for us for next week. Take a look at some of these morning lows next week. Monday, 57, Tuesday, 55. So we continue with our nice fall feel. And we do have a chance for some showers on Thursday and then again on Saturday. Friday looks pretty dry, but if you're headed out to hopscotch, just keep in mind, you may need the umbrella Thursday or Saturday. Saturday really looks like our best chance of some afternoon and evening storms, but it's not going to be like last weekend where we had so much rain. It's just going to be some afternoon and evening storms.
Only on WRAL, a man approached WRAL Investigates with a recording of what appears to be a confession connected to a local murder case. Fayetteville mother Avante Devon is accused of murdering two of her adopted children, Blake and London. In the recording, a voice is heard saying Devon had them take part in hiding Blake's body after he died, including dismembering him. There's no mention of London in that recording. The voice also describes what led to Blake's death and the alleged lack of response from Avante Devon.
She starved him so much that she killed him, bro. And then she didn't call the ambulance. She didn't call the police. She didn't try and make up a story to tell them, oh, well, he passed away.
Now, if you scan the QR code on your screen right there, it'll take you to the recording on WRAL.com. Now, to be transparent, it has been edited to hide the caller's identity because they have not been charged. WRAL did reach out to Fayetteville police for the story, but we have not heard back, not just yet.
It is beautiful out there this morning, feeling like fall. But just last week, you remember, parts of the area hit 100 degrees. Meteorologist Chris Michaels here to explain why temperature swings happen this time of year and what, Chris, this could mean for the beautiful leaves, the foliage.
Exactly. We're already thinking about that because we're about 4 to 5 weeks away from peak in the high country. Now, these temperature swings, they happen as we transition from summer to fall because daylight, especially well to the north, it's decreasing really quickly. So they're starting to cool down. Meanwhile, there's plenty of leftover warmth to the south. So that creates a very active jet stream, which means it's going to rise and fall. And as it does so, we see temperatures going from summer to more autumn-like, just like we've seen in the past week. Meanwhile, as they continue to lose daylight farther to the north, folks at Explore Fall, really cool website, they've actually shown that they're near peak foliage on the Brooks Range in northern Alaska. It's going to be quite some time before we get in on that action, but especially by the high country, maybe you're planning a trip for October. That's usually the best time to see the leaves up there, but due to some recent drought, those leaves are actually under a little bit of stress. For us, we have to wait until early November. So sort of putting the cart before the horse, but it's always fun to look forward to. As far as our daylight, we lose it by about a half hour every 2 weeks, and that's what facilitates the change in the colors. Speaking of change, yeah, we're going to be going below average temperature-wise once again. So at least fun to talk about, especially if you're a fan of fall and already getting in on those pumpkin spice lattes, guys.
All right, thank you, Chris. Phoenix is under an excessive heat warning today. That city is experiencing its hottest summer ever. Tuesday was the 100th consecutive day with temperatures at 100 degrees or hotter, and forecasters say the temperature could top 110 there the next 3 days. Phoenix has already had 54 days of 110-degree heat this year.
A family outing at a state park in California turns terrifying after a mountain lion attacks a 5-year-old boy. This happened Sunday at Malibu Creek State Park in Calabasas. Wildlife officials say the family was eating lunch when a mountain lion attacked the 5-year-old boy. The boy's father and other adults charged the lion, and it released the boy, then climbed a tree. It stayed there until Fish and Wildlife officials responded. They shot and killed that animal. The boy was airlifted to a hospital and released the next day with non-life-threatening injuries.
Your time is 8:50. The NFL season kicks off tomorrow in Kansas City, where you're looking live today. The Chiefs will take on the Baltimore Ravens. Now, you can see the excitement already in the city. Kansas City Chiefs banners are hanging at the entrances of Union Station. On the inside, there are red and gold decorations all around the Grand Hall. The two-time defending Super Bowl champions will play the Ravens for the first time since last year's AFC Championship game. You're wondering, oh man, I wish I could watch it. Guys, you can. You can watch the game on WRAL. Coverage starts tomorrow night at 7 and kickoff is at 8:20.
Week 1 of the season for the Carolina Panthers gets started on Sunday. They'll travel to New Orleans to take on their NFC South division rivals, the Saints. You can watch that game here on Fox 50. That's Sunday at 1 o'clock.
A new project for Colin Jost and Michael Shea. Plus, Ellen DeGeneres returns to the stage for the first time in 6 years. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with the Hollywood Nation.
We are the perfect family.
Kidman's murder mystery and SNL duo land a new hosting gig, and DeGeneres gets a date in the Hollywood Nation. Ellen DeGeneres' last comedy special is coming this month. Ellen DeGeneres For Your Approval will premiere on Netflix September 24th. The show marks the former talk show host's return to the stage in 6 years. She will get personal and discuss what she's been up to since ending her daytime talk show after 19 seasons.
Let's not applaud yet.
Colin Jost and Michael Che present New York After Dark. Will feature the Saturday Night Live stars hosting Peacock's first comedy special. The show will stream live from the Bell House in Brooklyn, featuring an in-person audience as well as performances from up-and-coming and established comedians. It premieres September 12th.
You okay? I keep seeing his face everywhere.
Naomi Scott spirals out of control in today's First Looks. Paramount unleashed the trailer for Smile 2, featuring Scott playing a pop star forced to take charge of her life by confronting her dark past when she starts experiencing terrifying events. The horror sequel arrives in theaters October 18th.
It's such a shock, and we're all very upset.
Nicole Kidman and Liev Schreiber star in The Perfect Couple. Netflix's murder mystery series features the duo as the head of a rich family who all become suspects when a dead body turns up on the beach during a weekend wedding in Nantucket. It starts streaming September 5th.
These people are used to getting whatever they want.
Here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll be right back.